Is everyone full? Okay, well, glad you're sitting down. Strap in, hold on, because Zane's going to take us on a wild ride.
Thanks.
Through the life of the portfolio management office with Smartsheet. Take it away, Zane.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I hate build-ups because they're always a letdown after that. I've been doing my thing though, like Seth said, and like just posting on social media. So y'all smile. I'll get some pictures here. Okay. All right. So, welcome to Smartsheet. I know we got about 25 minutes, so I'll talk fast. And thank you for showing up. And I hope the barbecue doesn't sit on your sleep nerve and cause you to go to sleep for the next 25 minutes anyway. Can I get a quick show of hands, just so I know the audience, who might have like project in their title or in their job description or have maybe heard that word before? How many? All right, good. So how many have used some kind of tool right now, whether it's like Microsoft Project or spreadsheets or something to manage your time? Okay, cool. Yeah. Now, how many before you came in here had heard about Smartsheet or used it? Yes. Ooh. Oh, awesome. Okay. All right, so maybe we can spend more time in the actual product than getting you familiar with it. But wasn't sure of the audience, so I kind of have a little bit of both here. So this is a little bit about me. I started here in December 1st, so I'm about to have 5 months, and really excited to be here. I'm part of the project management office. I work for Timothy Jones, and prior to that, I spent about 3.5 years at Columbus State setting up a project management office there. And before that, about 10 years working in and then managing a group of people in a project management office at Shaw Industries, which is the world's largest floor covering manufacturer plug there. And before that, a good while at AT&T in sales and Milliken in some sales and customer service. And before that, I graduated from here a few years ago with a degree in business administration. I have used those tools listed there and a few others, but I was introduced to Smartsheet when I was at Shaw. I think probably about 10 years ago, we were bringing in Google into their work situation, and the consultant we were working with was using Smartsheet. And it was just one of those tools that when you see it, it's like, oh, that looks so easy. And we ended up bringing in at Shaw. So that's my background with Smartsheet. Now, just for a minute, imagine if you could have the perfect workspace. What would it look like? Would it look like something like that, which I kind of like, kind of makes me feel like I could get some work done there, or even better, something like that. Yeah, I think that's the one I'd go with. More often it's kind of like that. Or if you're lucky enough to remote work, it could look something like that. And hopefully it doesn't look like that, but I will say I have worked with somebody who had an office that looked very much like that. Awful. So Smartsheet's not going to do anything about your workspace, but it will make your work ability easier if you get into the tool and start working with it. So with that, here are some of the things that people have said that are either using it or plan to use it, that it results in fewer emails, gives you a consistent format of data. There was like 64% fewer email. We were expecting fewer emails. 63% had a more consistent format. 60% were expecting time to be saved based on reporting status reports. 43%, the project cycle time was actually decreased, and then fewer meetings. Who doesn't want fewer meetings? So I've experienced some or all of that with my with my Smartsheet experience. Now here's some of the ways that I've actually used it, either here or at other organizations, using actual project plans or schedules, as we call them, dashboards to report up on, you know, the projects that we're working on. A project intake form where you actually complete a form and it feeds into a Smartsheet sheet that would start that intake process. Process approvals, so that it does have some workflow built into it, so you could actually use it to, you know, get approvals on things once you get it into the system. Managing budgets, and Barbara, you can track and manage software. So that we were doing that at Columbus State, and I think we're planning on doing it here. So just a lot of different ways that you can use it. Those are some of the ways I have used it. Here again, this was the result of a Forrester study that was completed in 2017, commissioned by Smartsheet. But it said that at the executive level, there were over 300 hours a year saved, and I think that was due to increased productivity because of dashboard views and things like that. The average user saved over 26 hours a year, and 60,000 hours a year at an organizational level. Now, clearly that's at a higher, a bigger unit than ours, but still you see the point that it's going to save you time and increase your productivity. And these are some of the comments from specifically Smartsheet users. The adoption rate is so fast. It's something that I have seen everywhere I've seen Smartsheet, is that once you get it in, people just see it and want it, and it kind of takes off on its own. Spend less time managing projects, more time being productive and working with your team. And then for our security people, it actually does have security measures built in. So it meets the compliance security related issues there. Here are some of the higher ed solutions that they have a lot more information on their website, but I know we have used it. We use it at Columbus State for events management and for campus maintenance, in addition to the project management things that we did with it. So it does have some higher ed application specific things as well. Here are some of the integrations, not all of them, but a lot of those we do use right now: Salesforce, Box, Skype, Microsoft, ServiceNow, DocuSign, Jira, a lot of those, and it does do integrations with all of those. And we're playing around with some of those now to see how they work. So, you know, the methodology of project management has, you know, 9 knowledge areas and 5 process groups and 49 processes, and I'm not going to take you down that path today. But what I would like to do is just at this point get into the Smartsheet and just play around with it a little bit, show you some of the things that I like and that I have enjoyed. And please, at any point, if you see something or you don't understand it, or if I'm going too fast or too slow, just raise your hand. I'd like for this to be more of an interactive session. So just give me some feedback. So I'm going to go to Smartsheet here, if this works. Okay. All right, so that's what you see when you go to Smartsheet. It's going to ask you to log in. I got that right. So one of the things that we're doing is working on an enterprise level license, and it will, part of that will be single sign-on, so you won't have to do that once you get logged in the first time. So when you come into it, it looks pretty basic, pretty vanilla, but let me just go through some of the basics of it. So you've got a sheet at the basic level, and a sheet kind of looks like a project schedule, and I'll open one up in a minute. And then you've got reports that you can create based off of your sheets, and then you've got dashboards and portals that you can also create from your sheets and from your reports. And then you've got workspaces over here. So if you wanted to create a workspace for a particular work group, you would create the workspace, and then everything you shared in that workspace would automatically be shared with everybody. So let's just look at the template set that I have here under the workspace for the example today. So a sheet would look something like this. That looks very typical of a project schedule or a project plan. One of the things I like about Smartsheet is that it provides different views. So this is what they call the grid view. It's the one I usually work out of. But if you like using Gantt charts, you can go to the Gantt view, and you can see the dependencies and timelines, and there's some color coding based on at-risk things and the diamonds for the milestones, that kind of thing. So you've got your grid, your Gantt view. If you do a Kanban kind of thing, you can look at the card view. So now you see it, in this case, it's sorted by who it's assigned to. You could look at it by status, so you could see what, if it's not started or in progress or complete. And you can add additional views if you want there. You can sort on any number of things. And then you got your calendar view. So this one is based on the start date for each of the tasks. So you can see on the calendar view, but you could have a start and end date kind of thing. It gets a little busy when you do that. But you can see a start and end date from a calendar view, and you can import that into a Google Calendar or your Microsoft Calendar. So those are the different views. Let me go back to my grid view. So then there are lots of things that you can do with it. One of the things that I like is the activity log, which is over here. And you can see all the activity that has occurred on that particular sheet. So if you've shared it with a lot of people and you've gone in and asked them to update it, you can go in here and you can see who's updated and what they've done. And you can, again, you can sort that based on date ranges or, particular actions, things like that. But this just shows every action that's happened on that sheet. Since I haven't shared it with anybody, I'm the only one that's had any action in there. But it'll tell you, what happened, if a cell was changed, what it was changed to, what row it was, all that kind of information. So that comes in real handy when you're managing projects. Another thing is the alerts and actions, which is really good in the collaborative space. So you can set up an alert or a notification or a reminder. You can request an update. Here's some options, and you can set it up for any number of things. You can set up a notification if a row is added to let me as the owner of the sheet know, and you can tell it to send me an email once a day or once an hour or as soon as it happens or once a week, just depending on how much activity you have on the sheet and how often you need to be notified. One of the ways that I used that at another job was when we would get an intake form request on that form, I would get notified right away that somebody was requesting, a new project. So I wouldn't wait till the next day or whatever to go out there and take a look at it. You can also set up requests to update. So if somebody has been assigned a task, you can have an automatic update, every week or every 2 weeks. Please go in and update your task, and it'll send them an email. In the email, it actually kind of shows up as a form there, so they can actually complete that in the email, in the form in the email, click submit, and it goes and feeds the sheet. You never have to get out of your email to do that. So that's pretty handy. So there's that. Then this is a good one. So you can highlight changes. If you just want to get a quick look to see if somebody's been in there doing things and what they've changed, you can put your highlight changes on, and you can say, if anything's changed in the last day, highlight it. And that, again, was a good way when I was going in before they actually added this activity thing. I'd go in and see if people would tell me, oh, I've updated my sheet, but it's real easy to go in there and see it if the highlight changes was on there, what had actually been changed. So you can turn that on and off. You can also do conditional formatting, so that you can change if the at-risk is flagged, you know, you can turn something, you know, whatever color you want automatically, and it's just a good visible way to see, you know, things that are in trouble. Typically what I'll do is I'll turn, if there's a task in there and it's, if the due date's passed and it's not 100%, I'll turn that red so that we can see at a quick glance. Or if there's a task that's coming up the next week and it's not like 75%, turn it yellow so people can see that there probably needs to be some attention paid to that task. You can do filters. So I could filter on all the tasks, for example, that are assigned just to me and filter out all the other stuff so you can see that. You can create as many filters as you want. So that's handy. And then you can take this information from your plan or plans. You can roll up multiple plans and you can create reports. So this would be a report for all tasks that have been flagged as at risk. And again, you could pull it from one sheet, you could pull it from multiple sheets. So you could at a quick glance see all of your at-risk tasks across all of your projects or across your portfolio. You could also, if you wanted to just see the milestones, for example, just pull a report and then, you know, pull the milestones off of it. And then you can take all that information and you can create a dashboard for your executives to give them a high-level view of the information that they're interested in. So in this case, this is just for that particular project, shows the start and end date and the, you know, the different sheets I've just gone over there, who the contacts are, and then you can see these come off the two reports. But you can do it pretty much anyway, and they've got graphs and charts now, so you can add. Just find the one that we've got right now for our dashboard, and this one we're just playing with, so the data is not good, but this just gives you an idea of, you know, some of the things you can do with real data. And you can make it interactive, or you can make it where, you know, you just, it's a view only. In this case, I have it so it's interactive, and if you wanted to see the detail behind that one, you could click on it and it would take you to the sheet where that information is coming from. Okay. It's really good with formulas, so as, you know, geeky as you want to get, it can probably keep up with you. I'm not very good with formulas, but it does have a really good help, which is another feature I like. Let me go there. So if you wanted to search on, well, there's formulas right there. It would give you some good overview information. You can get, you know, here's a list of the different formulas that they have and the syntax that goes with them, and, you know, an example of each one of them. And then if you needed help with some of them, you could just click down into it. It would take you to a deeper dive on how to use that. They also have a really good templates. So you can, if you're not sure exactly what you want it to look like, and you know you want it to be something that you want to keep up with some financial information, there's one for cash flow. Let's just open that up, and that shows they've already got a lot of the features that I have mentioned already in there, with the color coding and the conditional formatting and that kind of stuff. So you've got a lot of templates to work from. And let's see, let's just browse them. So you've got them in the area of clients and customers, finance and accounting, general management, IT, human resources. Let's see what IT they've got. System development life cycle, IT office relocation plan, a lot of different things specific to, you know, the jobs that you may or may not be involved in. Projects, a lot of different templates for project plans. And then sales, a lot of people are using this. It started out as a project management tool, and they've kind of rebranded themselves, and they're more of a work management tool because it's not just project management. And a lot of people are using it for a lot of the sales intake processes. And Salesforce is one of the add-ins there. Let's see. Now, one of the things we haven't started using quite yet, but hope to get to soon is the resource. So, ooh, I got 5 minutes. Okay, so this would be really handy if you have a lot of different project plans, you got a lot of different resources, and they are working on a lot of different projects at the same time. You could use this and it would show you at a task and a project level who is over allocated, and it would throw up a flag saying, oh, you've just allocated 200% of some so-and-so's time. You can go in there and click and see that, you know, Daniel is allocated 100% right here during this time frame, and it's on this particular project. You could click on that project and it would show you, you know, what he's working on there. So we hope to be able to get to that so that we can help justify, you know, how we're using our time and how we can use more resources and that kind of thing. I only have about 3 or 4 minutes left. Does anybody have questions? Yes, sir.
Say, does this handle approval queues?
Approval queues, yeah. You can set up approvals. That goes under the go back here. There. So let's go to the sheet and go to the alerts and actions and request an approval, and you set it up there so that once, you know, you just set your parameters, and then once it's at a place where it needs approval, it automatically sends an email to that person. They can go in there and click in their email and check it. If they approve it, it updates it and sends it on, that kind of thing. Yeah.
If you're working on enterprise licensing for this,
Yes.
would that be for all of us to be able to use this, or just individual departments?
Yeah, there is a cost associated. That was one of the things that the license model is really cool. So you only need a license if you're actually creating sheets. But if you just want to be able to collaborate on sheets, if you want to have somebody create a sheet, share it with you, and you can collaborate, you don't actually need a license. So we are working on that enterprise level license. There's a cost associated with it. I think it's around $400 a license.
One time?
An annual cost, yeah. And again, you'd only need that named license if you're actually creating the sheets. Per user.
Then just to collaborate, as long as you have an Auburn account, or really.
Yeah, you don't even have to have an Auburn account, but you could share it with people outside of the Auburn domain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody else? I'm done? Okay. Thank y'all.